Everyone thinks Sweden has already solved its biggest problems. Universal healthcare, clean cities, one of the happiest populations in the world. From the outside, it looks like a country where there's nothing left to build. But that's exactly where most entrepreneurs make a costly mistake. Because wealth isn't created where everything is perfect. Wealth is created where expensive problems are hiding in plain sight. 20 years ago, very few people believed that ordering a taxi through a phone would become a billion-dollar business. Very few people imagined that renting a stranger's house for a holiday would become one of the world's biggest hospitality companies. Those businesses weren't built because someone invented a new technology. They were built because someone saw a problem everyone else had learned to live with. Today, Sweden is quietly developing a new generation of problems. Problems created by an aging population, by artificial intelligence, by environmental regulations, by changing family structures, by a shortage of skilled workers. And while millions of people complain about these challenges, a small number of entrepreneurs are already building companies around them. If you're willing to think differently, some of these opportunities could become businesses that generate income for decades. As Proverbs 21:5 reminds us, the plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance, but everyone who is hasty comes only to poverty. Business isn't about chasing trends. It's about patiently solving problems that continue growing year after year. Welcome to Continental Business Hubs. Let's discover 10 problems in Sweden that could create the next generation of millionaires. Number 10. Sweden's silent loneliness crisis. When people imagine Sweden, they picture beautiful homes, peaceful streets, and a high quality of life. What they rarely picture is someone eating dinner alone every single night. Sweden has one of the highest percentages of single-person households in Europe. Thousands of elderly citizens live alone. Young professionals move into cities without close family. Remote workers spend entire weeks interacting only through screens. Loneliness isn't simply an emotional issue anymore. It has become an economic one. Governments spend millions dealing with depression, anxiety, and social isolation. Healthcare systems carry the burden. Employers lose productivity. Families worry from hundreds or thousands of kilometers away. Now, here's the question every entrepreneur should ask. If loneliness costs society billions, who is helping solve it? Most people immediately think about creating another social media platform. That isn't the answer. People don't need more scrolling. They need meaningful connection. Imagine building a subscription service that organizes neighborhood dinners. Imagine a platform that connects retirees with university students. Imagine an AI-powered companionship that helps seniors remember medications while also encouraging real human interaction. Imagine local businesses sponsoring weekly community events through your platform. You're no longer selling an app. You're selling belonging. And belonging has recurring value. Ecclesiastes tells us, 2 are better than 1, because they have a good return for their labor. God designed people for community. Businesses that restore healthy community don't just make money. They create lasting value. Number 9, the elder care workforce shortage. Here's a demographic reality that cannot be ignored. Sweden's population is getting older, people are living longer, birth rates are falling, but there's one problem. There simply aren't enough caregivers. Think about what that means. Thousands of elderly citizens will need assistance with daily activities. Medication reminders, transportation, household management, medical appointments, family communication. Most entrepreneurs immediately think about opening another nursing home. That requires enormous capital. Instead, think like a systems builder. What if your company created software that helped caregivers schedule visits more efficiently? What if wearable devices detected unusual movement patterns before emergencies happened? What if AI translated medical instructions for immigrant caregivers? What if families could receive live updates about loved ones through one secure dashboard? Notice something important. The opportunity isn't replacing caregivers. It's multiplying their effectiveness. Technology should empower people, not eliminate them. Jesus taught that faithful servants multiply what they've been entrusted with. Likewise, entrepreneurs create wealth by multiplying the productivity of others. That's stewardship. Number 8. Europe's green regulations are creating invisible markets. When governments introduce environmental regulations, most people complain. Entrepreneurs pay attention. Europe continues introducing stricter sustainability standards. Companies must measure carbon emissions, track waste, report environmental impact, reduce energy consumption. Here's what most business owners are thinking. I don't have time for this paperwork. Whenever regulations increase, compliance becomes a business. Think about accountants, tax consultants, law firms, cybersecurity specialists. All of them exist because businesses struggle with complex requirements. The same thing is happening with environmental compliance. Imagine building software that automatically generates sustainability reports, or consulting businesses that help manufacturers reduce waste, or AI tools that monitor factory emissions in real time. Every regulation creates friction. Every friction creates opportunity. Proverbs 22:29 says, "Do you see someone skilled in their work? They will serve before kings." Skill becomes valuable when it solves expensive problems. Become excellent where others are overwhelmed. Number 7. Skilled trades are quietly disappearing, while everyone rushes into software engineering. Sweden faces another crisis. Experienced electricians, plumbers, VAC technicians, construction specialists. Many are retiring. Far fewer young people are replacing them. Now ask yourself something. What happens when demand keeps increasing, but supply keeps shrinking? Prices rise. Waiting lists grow. Businesses delay projects. Homes remain unfinished. Most entrepreneurs think they need to become electricians. Wrong. You can build the infrastructure around the industry, create AI scheduling systems, build marketplaces connecting certified professionals, develop workforce training academies, offer virtual reality training programs, create quality assurance software. Sometimes the biggest business isn't doing the work. It's helping everyone else do the work better. Joseph didn't personally harvest Egypt's grain. He built the system that allowed everyone else to succeed. Systems create scale, and scale creates wealth. Number 6. Sweden's housing bottleneck. If you've spoken to young professionals in Stockholm, you've probably heard the same complaint. Finding housing is incredibly difficult. Demand continues increasing. Construction struggles to keep pace. Rental queues can stretch for years. Many entrepreneurs immediately think, I should become a property developer, perhaps. But that's only one opportunity. Think broader. Could you build AI software that predicts optimal locations for new housing developments? Could you create platforms matching homeowners with legal accessory dwelling unit opportunities? Could you help municipalities digitize planning approvals? Could you build prefabricated construction technologies that reduce project timelines? Remember this principle. Every major problem creates dozens of secondary problems. The entrepreneurs who become wealthy often solve the secondary ones because they're faster to build and easier to scale. In the book of Genesis, Isaac sowed during a difficult season and still reaped 100-fold because he understood where opportunity existed despite unfavorable conditions. Great entrepreneurs don't wait for perfect markets. They build solutions inside imperfect ones. At this point, we've only covered the first 5 opportunities. But the next 5 are even larger. They involve artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, immigration, healthcare technology, and one industry that almost nobody outside Sweden is paying attention to today, but by 2040, it could produce some of Europe's most valuable companies. Before we finish, I want to leave you with one challenge. Many people pray for financial breakthrough, but very few pray for the wisdom to recognize problems worth solving. In the Bible, Solomon didn't ask God for riches. He asked for wisdom. And because he received wisdom, the wealth followed. Business works the same way. Money follows value. Value follows solutions. Solutions begin with observation. The entrepreneur who learns to observe what others ignore will eventually build what others cannot. At Continental Business Hubs, we believe every country has hidden economic opportunities. Not because governments create wealth, but because problems create demand, and demand rewards those willing to serve. As Proverbs 11:25 says, a generous person will prosper. Whoever refreshes others will himself be refreshed. Notice the order. You prosper by refreshing others, not by chasing money. By solving meaningful problems. So here's this week's assignment. Choose one country. Study it for 7 days. Don't ask, what business can I start? Instead ask, what problem is quietly becoming more expensive every year? Write down 10 observations. Talk to business owners. Read government reports. Watch industry news. Then ask one final question. What solution could I build that would still matter in 2040? That single question could change your future. If this episode challenged the way you think about entrepreneurship, subscribe to Continental Business Hubs. Because next week, we will finalize the remaining 5 hidden billion-dollar opportunities hiding in plain sight. Until then, keep observing, keep learning, keep building. And remember, the greatest businesses don't begin with products. They begin with problems.